Hello, welcome back to another session of social class. I am Kavita here to present a new lesson from history part, that is Unit 2, Geographical Features and Prehistoric India. In today's session, we are going to learn only one concept from this lesson, that is geographical features. In today's session, we are going to learn on these main topics. Those are introduction about the geographical conditions about India and geographical features of India. These topics today we are going to learn in today's session. As children, let us discuss about how geographically condition is there in our India. Basically, each and every one nations have their own geographically features because a close relationship between human life and as well as climatic condition, it is there in the ancient time, because early man was living in the climate, early man was living in environment, so that a close relationship between human life and as well as the climate. So, because in early man was living in the climatic only, either summer season or rainy season, winter season, whatever. He was living in an environment, so that a close relationship between human life and as well as environment since from the ancient time. Even same like this, India has their own geographically features. Basically, India is situated Asian continent. So, India belongs to Asian continent. Especially, India is called subcontinent. Why India is called subcontinent? Because most of the huge area occupied in the Asian continent, most in southern part. Andre Asia idee ಒಂದು globally, especially Asia ಖಂಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೌತ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಿನೇ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಕ್ಯುಪೈಡ್ ಬೈ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ, ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಸೌತ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್, ಸದರ್ನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್, so that India is called subcontinent. Again, once I am repeating here, India is called subcontinent because basically India is situated in the Asian continent, especially in which part? South part. So India has occupied most of the part in the Asian continent in the southern part, so that India is called subcontinent. And as well as India is called peninsula nation. Then what do you mean by peninsula? Have you heard the name peninsula? Then what is the meaning of peninsula? And why India is called peninsula nation? Just look at here, because India is called peninsula. Why it is called? Yes, South India, this is India map. South India is completely covered by 3 water bodies. So South India is completely covered by 3 water bodies and one part is covered by land, so that India is called peninsula nation. Again, once I am repeating here, this is the most important concept you people should learn. India is called the peninsula country, peninsula nation. Why it is called? Because South India, completely South India is covered by 3 water bodies. Those are Bay of Bengal in the east, Indian Ocean in the south and Arabian Sea in the west. And South India is completely covered by 3 water bodies and one part, North India, is completely covered by snow or land, so that India is called peninsula country. And here India has 8 neighboring countries. India has 8 neighboring countries. Among them, India has shared its border with 7 neighboring countries. Again, once I am repeating here, India has shared its border with India has 8 neighboring countries. Among them, India has shared its border with 7 neighboring countries. Then which are those nations? First we have to know 8 neighboring countries. First one here, Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, and as well as Sri Lanka. So these are the nations we call Indian neighboring countries. And as I told now, India has shared its border with 7 neighboring countries. And which are those nations? Just look at here. In front of you is the India map there here. I have mentioned neighboring countries and which nation India has shared its border with these nations. Here Pakistan and Afghanistan. So Pakistan and Afghanistan in the north west, Nepal, China and Bhutan in the north, Nepal, China and Bhutan in the north, Myanmar, Bangladesh in the east. These are the nations we call the neighboring countries which India has shared border. And here Sri Lanka. Again once I am repeating here, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. These nations we call neighboring countries. As I told now, among them India has shared its border with 7 neighboring countries. Look at here, Pakistan, Afghanistan in the northwest, Nepal, China, Bhutan in the north,
Myanmar and Bangladesh. Myanmar and Bangladesh in the east.
But Sri Lanka, India did not share border with Sri Lanka because the main concept here, because see here, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರೀಲಂಕಾ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಡಿಯಾಕ್ಕೆ ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಟಚ್ ಆಗಿದೆನಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ, ಸೊ India did not share border with Sri Lanka because here Sri Lanka is separated from Gulf of Mannar and Pak Strait. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಒಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬರ್ತವೆ. ಅವು ಯಾವುವು ಅಂತಂದರೆ Gulf of Mannar and Pak Strait. Gulf of Mannar and Pak Strait is separated from the India. It means Sri Lanka is separated from the India. ಯಾವುದು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? Gulf of Mannar and Pak Strait. ಸೊ ಗಾಫ್ ಆಫ್ ಮನ್ನಾರ್ ಪಾಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಟ್ ಶ್ರೀಲಂಕಾ ಮತ್ತು ಭಾರತವನ್ನು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಿಯೇ ಭಾರತ ಶ್ರೀಲಂಕಾದ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ನ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅಮಾಂಗ್ ದೆಮ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಶೇರ್ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ವಿತ್ ಬಾಂಗ್ಲಾದೇಶ್. ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಶೇರ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ವಿತ್ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ವಿತ್ ಬಾಂಗ್ಲಾದೇಶ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್ ವಿತ್ ಅಫ್ಘಾನಿಸ್ತಾನ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ನೇಬರಿಂಗ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೀಸ್. And India has 28 states. How many states? 28. According to your textbook, they mention 29 states. But according to the present situation, India has 28 states and 7. So 8 union territories and 1 capital city. So before, according to your textbook, there are 29 states, 6 union territories and 1 capital city. But according to present situation, India has 28 states, 8 union territories and 1 capital city, that is none other than New Delhi. So Jammu and Kashmir, before it was a part of the state, it was a part of the nation as a state. But now at present, Kashmir and Ladakh, these two considered as union territories. Again, once I am repeating here, at present India has 28 states, 8 union territories and 1 capital city, that is none other than New Delhi. So recently Kashmir and Ladakh as part of the union territories. This is about the neighboring countries of India. And next here, as I told now, each and every one nations have their own geographical features. So like that, India has their own geographically features. We call physical conditions of India, physiographic divisions of India. Indian geographical features can be classified into 4 types. How many types? 4 types. Look at here, we call the Himalayan mountains, Indo-Gangetic plain, Indo-Gangetic plains. Next one, Deccan Plateau and coastal plain. Yes, as I told in the introduction, each and every one nations have their own geographical features. So in the same way, India has their own geographical condition, geographical features. Those features we call physiographic divisions of India. So Indian physiographic divisions can be classified into 4 types. 4 types. How many types? 4 types. Which are those? Look at here again, also I am repeating here. The Himalayan mountains. The first one geographical. Next one Indo-Gangetic plain, Deccan Plateau and coastal plain. So among them, these 2 geographical features belongs to north. These two physical divisions belongs to north, and these 2 physical division belongs to south. Again once I am repeating here, the Himalayan mountains and the Indo-Gangetic plains. These 2 belongs to north part, and Deccan Plateau and coastal plains belongs to south. Yes, as I told now, the Indian geographical features can be classified into 4 types. Those are Himalayan mountains, Indo-Gangetic plain, Deccan Plateau and coastal plain. So first 2 physical features situated in the north, and Deccan Plateau and coastal plain situated in the south. And look at here. So the first one geographical feature situated in the north, which is in yellow color, this part we call the Himalayan mountains, which is in yellow color. This features we call Himalayan mountain. And second one physical feature, that is the Indo-Gangetic plain, which is in blue color. This part we call the Indo-Gangetic plain. And next one geographical feature, that is Deccan Plateau, which is in red color. This part we call Deccan Plateau. And last one geographical feature, that is the coastal plain, which is in green color. This part we call the coastal region. So the Himalayan mountains, especially completely North India, is completely covered by the thick snow, so that the foreigners, it's highly impossible to enter India, because North India is completely covered by a thick snow, so that it's basically it's a safety and protect for us, so that the North India is completely covered by thick snow. And here many mountains have been situated. Those mountains so very attractive for tourists. Among them, Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. So North India, especially the Himalayan mountains situated in the north, and it's completely covered by thick snow. So it's very safety and protect for us from the Himalayan mountains. In Himalayan mountains, many peaks have been situated, and very attractive and very tallest peaks situated in the northern mountains and Himalayan mountains. Among them, Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. And next one, Indo-Gangetic plain. The Indo-Gangetic plain is very important geographical feature, especially North India, because Indo-Gangetic plain Indo-Gangetic plain is very fertile, because basically India is called the land of rivers, the birthplace of many rivers, so that in the North India the strong fertile soil is there, so that many dynasties they want to establish their power in the Indo-Gangetic plain, because here the fertile soil, that fertile soil is very helpful for agriculture, so that many dynasties they wanted to establish their power in the Indo-Gangetic plain, because here Indo-Gangetic in the sense Indus river and Ganga river. So that the many dynasties they want to establish, they want to control Indo-Gangetic plain. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫಲವತ್ತತೆಯಿಂದ ಕೂಡಿರುವಂಥ ಮಣ್ಣು ಎದಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದರೆ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರ್, ಕೃಷಿಗೆ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗೋ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕಾಗಿಯೇ ಭಾಳಷ್ಟು ಡೈನೆಸ್ಟಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ಪವರ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ದೇ ಪವರ್ ಇನ್ ದ Indo-Gangetic plain, because it has strong fertile, that fertile soil is very useful for agriculture. And next one here, Deccan Plateau. This is the Deccan Plateau is completely covered by black soil, and as I told now, the Himalayan mountains is very protected for us from the foreign attackers. It's highly impossible to enter to India from the mountains, because here many mountain peaks have been situated, so that it's highly impossible to attack on India. But on the one part, foreigners easily enter to India from the northwestern part, this part. ಅಂದರೆ ಹಿಮಾಲಯ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಸೇಫ್ಟಿ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅತಿ ಎತ್ತರವಾದ ಶಿಖರಗಳಿರೋದಕ್ಕಾಗಿಯೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಫಾರಿನರ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಸ್ನೋ ಇದೆ, ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ ಪೀಕ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾವೆ. ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ವೆರಿ ರೇರ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಇವನ್ ಒನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ದೇರ್, ಆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲೇಸಿಂದ ಫಾರಿನರ್ಸ್ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಕ್ಕೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಅದು ಯಾವ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದರೆ ನಾರ್ತ್ ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್. ನಾವು ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿಯೇ ಒಂದು ಫಾರಿನರ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯಾಕ್ಕೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಬುಲಾನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕೈಬರ್ ಪಾಸಸ್, ಬುಲಾನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕೈಬರ್ ಕಣಿವೆ ಮೂಲಕ ವಿದೇಶಿಯರು ನಮ್ಮ ಭಾರತಕ್ಕೆ ಇಂದು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ನೋ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ನೋ ಇದೆ, ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಪೀಕ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮ್ಮ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದೊಳಗಡೆ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ನಾವು ಹೇಳಿ ನಾರ್ತ್ ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಈಸಿಲಿ ಟು ಎಂಟರ್ ಟು ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಫ್ರಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್? Bulan passes and Khyber passes. So easily to enter to India. And Deccan Plateau, another important physical feature, that is Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau is completely covered by black soil. It has a thick forest and mineral resources. And next here, coastal plain. And the last one geographical feature, the coastal plain. The total coastal plain India has 6,100 kilometer, and India has the land 15,200 kilometer. ಭಾರತದ ಒಟ್ಟು ಭೂಪ್ರದೇಶ ಅಂತಂದರೆ 15,200 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಕೋಸ್ಟಲ್ ಏರಿಯಾ, ದ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೋಸ್ಟಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಇಸ್ 6,100 kilometer. So fourth one physical feature, that is coastal plain. This part we call coastal plain because South India is completely covered by 3 water bodies. Indian Ocean in the south, Bay of Bengal in the east, and Arabian Sea in the west. So this part we call coastal plain. The total kilometer of coastal plain is 6,100 kilometer. The eastern part of coastal plain we call Coromandel coast. The eastern part of coastal plain we call Coromandel coast, and the western part of coastal plain we call Malabar and Konkan coast. This is about geographical feature. And next here, Narmada river. Narmada river has separated India in 2 parts, that we call Malwa Plateau Malwa Plateau in the north and Deccan Plateau in the south. Which river separated to India in two parts? That is Narmada river. Narmada river has separated India into two parts. Those we call Malwa Plateau in the north and Deccan Plateau in the south. In North India, many dynasties they ruled in North India. For example, Mauryas, Guptas, Kushanas, Taneshwar, it means Vardhara dynasties. Even South India is also ruled by many dynasties. For example, Kadamba, Shatavahana, Chola, Pallava, Rashtrakuta, Hoysalas and others. Even coastal plains helps to carry trade. In the ancient time, each and every one trade was going on through the coastal plain, because many ports are there, so that the coastal plain is very useful to carry trade. Because you people study in 7th standard, the Europeans arrived to India. Then how they arrived to India? Through the water bodies. So, by the successful of discovering new sea route to India, Europeans arrived to India. So then who found? Vasco da Gama. Isn't it, no? Yes, Vasco da Gama was found new sea route to India. It means the coastal plain is very useful to carry trade and business. Each and every one trade and business was going on through the place of the coastal plain or else the water bodies. So, this is the concept today we studied, and remaining topic we will study in the next session. Till then, keep watching video. Thank you and have a great day.